What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy Willie Does Wrestling back at it again with a brand new stream. And joining me today, once again, it is Dylan from the Last Week in Wrestling podcast. And Dylan, what a show last night, AEW Revolution.
Oh man, my voice is hurting from all the screaming and yelling and cursing that I was doing, especially in that Iron Man match
Oh, yeah.
last night. That was absolutely a 5 out of 5 Iron Man match. Wish it went a little longer, to be honest. It could have
A
went a
little
little bit
longer than
longer.
60 minutes.
67 minutes. Yeah, let's do 75. Let's really push these guys to a breaking point. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the AEW Revolution was great from start to finish. But before we get into that, of course, this is the AEW Revolution review stream. But of course, earlier on today, we had some news that 2K23, their DLC or their season pass got revealed. 5 packs in total.
mhm.
I think five wrestlers each. And we're gonna give our thoughts, maybe debate, and yeah, essentially just give our thoughts. So, Dylan, what are your thoughts on? We'll give our thoughts on each individual pack, I guess.
Okay.
If I can find it, fuck.
Yeah, I googled it real quick. We start off with the Steiner Row pack.
Yeah,
Goes Rick and Scott Steiner, Top Dollar, Ashante Adonis, B-Fab Manager Only Edition, which I
yeah,
thought was very interesting. I didn't think she would only be set as a manager only. I
me
figured she
too.
was going to be a playable character. Um, I'm cool with it. I'm very excited that Big Papa Pump is back in a wrestling game for so
Well,
long
well,
ago.
well. Well, it's probably not going to be Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner. It's
No,
probably going to be the tag team where they're like the
Steiner
real
Brothers.
wrestlers. Yeah, the Steiner
Yeah.
brothers. Which I was actually gonna say I'm actually ashamed. Well, I'm not ashamed. I'm disappointed that Big Papa Pump, the actual gimmick, won't be in the game. But at least
Yeah.
the community creations they'll pull through. They'll
Oh
pull
yeah.
through.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. No, it's really cool. I'm excited for the packs all in all. And then we go that comes out April 19th, the
Yeah,
Steiner Row
that
pack.
before you get into the other one,
Mhm.
I won't play as shit row. Fuck
Yeah, me
fuck
neither.
shit row.
I won't either. You're not alone on that.
The only
Um,
time I will do that is if maybe I'll do like a what if I put Top Dollar and number 1 in a Royal Rumble, but instead of playing as Top Dollar, I'll play against him
there
in
you
all of
go.
'em. There you
There you
go.
go. I like that. Yeah, no, I won't be playing as shit row either. Um, I don't like their gimmick. I'm not a fan of it, but that's definitely something to talk about a different day.
Oh, yeah.
Um, all right, so after that, that's April 19th. We go to the Pretty Sweet pack, May 17th. Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Tiffany Stratton, Elton Prince, and Kit Wilson.
I like this pack overall.
Okay.
It's very great, very great. We got OC, Pretty Deadly, and Tiffany Stratton. I think all very, very solid wrestlers.
Oh, yeah.
I love that the OC is going to be in this fucking game. I was scared actually that Gallows and Anderson wouldn't be in this.
Mm,
And Pretty Deadly deserve that spot. Tiffany Stratton, I
yeah.
don't know. I haven't really checked her out a lot on NXT, but from what I've heard, she's really improving in her wrestling ability. So it's cool that she's getting this opportunity.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. No, I'm honestly happy that all in all we're getting a lot more NXT playable characters
Yeah.
this time around than we did in 2022. It's been a while before 20 it was about 2 years till we got 22 from 2020. That WWE shitstorm game. So now that they're really leveling it up. It feels like, and especially with these packs, it feels like they're really trying to include everybody in their roster plus some, for sure. No, so far I'm really digging the packs and everything. So that comes out May 17th, a pretty sweet pack. Then we go into Race to NXT pack, June 14th. Harley Race, Ivy Nile, Wendy Chu, Tony D'Angelo, and Trick Williams. I'm
This is
excited
the
for Trick to play with Williams.
Trick Williams. That would be good because then you could
Yeah.
do tag team matches with Mello.
Mhm.
However, Wendy Chu, like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know.
uh,
I know. I
not
know.
not my cup of tea. I love that Tony's in the game. Harley
Yes,
Race, I don't know what the fuck anyone is gonna do with him. I'm sorry. He's great. He's a great wrestler, but I mean, little out of place here.
maybe he'll
Um,
be the one that beats Top Dollar in the Royal Rumble,
hell yeah.
you know?
Harley Race is gonna win that fucking rumble. But yeah, this is the meh pack for me, honestly. I don't
Okay,
see anybody who would make me really want to buy this individual pack. But maybe.
maybe. Never know. You never know. We still got some time for that one. You never know what they're gonna do beforehand. And
Yeah.
then, of course, one of the bigger ones of the bunch is the reveal with Riot, or Revel with what Riot pack. Bray Riot,
Bray
Zeus,
Wyatt.
yep, Valhalla, Joe Gacy, Blair, Davenport.
I'm shocked that Valhalla is playable in this game and not
Me
BFAB.
too.
I was
Yeah,
so confused when I looked at that. I didn't say it in my fucking video, but I was like, why the fuck is Valhalla playable in this game and not BFAB?
it is interesting. I wonder if that's going for BFAB in her career as well. Like, is she going to stick to this managerial role?
Yeah.
And maybe that's why she chose to be manager only for the time being.
And maybe we're
Not
gonna get
sure.
Valhalla in the ring because I don't think Valhalla's really wrestled ever since she came back. So
Yeah,
Zeus, again, the out of place
yeah,
legend in this. I don't see really anyone really using him unless you're in that era. Um, yeah, I was so confused. Gacy and Davenport, great, and of course the big
great
one, Bray
picks.
Wyatt. Bray
Yeah.
Wyatt.
Now, I wonder if we're going to get the Fiend Bray Wyatt. Are we getting Bray Wyatt Firefly Funhouse? Or is it just Bray Wyatt?
It seems like it's just modern day Bray.
Okay.
And like I said, I think maybe they're gonna have him enter with the Uncle Howdy mask like he did at Extreme Rules. I think that'd be pretty sweet.
That would be pretty cool. I'd be cool with that. And of course, to round it off, we go to Bad News U pack. Eve
Oh yeah.
Torres, Wade Barrett, Damon Kemp, Andre Chase, Nathan Frazier.
Wade Barrett is back in a fucking 2K game. I'm so
Finally,
hyped. Now, like I said in my other video, I don't know if this is gonna be fucking Nexus Wade Barrett. I doubt it though. Or if it's maybe like
the
God
Bad
Save Our
News Barrett.
Queen. Yeah, bad news, Barrett.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with any version of Wade Barrett.
Hmm.
Besides King Barrett, fuck King Barrett. But
Yeah, King Barrett is like,
yeah, Eve Torres is in the game, so all the Divas stands can, go away. But it's
yeah,
cool that
exactly.
she's there.
Hmm.
Um, Andre Chase, I don't know.
Yeah,
Uh, Damon Kemp to complete the Diamond Mine. I'm shocked Roderick Strong isn't a DLC in this. Roderick
right.
Strong's not in the game, I don't think.
No, I don't believe so either. I think he was taken out either last minute or just wasn't
Forgotten.
included. Yeah, just was forgotten pretty much, all in all. So I'm not
But they would
sure.
but these are good packs. That one
Hmm.
releases August 16th.
Yes, that is the last one to round off the packs for the DLC releases and stuff. No, very exciting. I'm very
Me
excited for the
too.
packs and everything. In general, I think this is going to be a really good DLC from the last one that we got with WWE 2K22. So definitely, I'm very excited for what these releases and what these actual characters are going to do for the game itself.
Oh yeah. Now
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you this question: which wrestler do you see yourself playing as the most? Even though I think I know the answer, which one are you
What do you
most
think's
looking
the
forward to?
answer? What do you think's going to be the answer?
Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, of course.
Bray
Yeah,
Wyatt.
yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course, Wade Barrett's a close second. But
Yeah, Wade Barrett, I definitely would say that, and then tag team wise, I definitely want to play with the OC against the
yes.
Street Profits, against the Usos, against Alpha Academy, against any other tag team we could kind of form together as well.
I like the fact because then I could do the Bloodline versus, the OC in War Games.
Yes, yes,
It'd
exactly.
be a
Wow,
great
a
War
real,
Games match.
definitely a
War
great
War
war game
Games is
match.
gonna have a lot of great, opportunities. But, yeah, that is the roundup for the DLC.
Hmm.
Those are all the wrestlers confirmed, and, yeah, I mean, very good picks.
Yes,
Definitely better than 22 because 22, I think it was all, like, legends and fucking, like, people that
celebrities.
nobody used, and
Yeah.
celebrities too, Logan Paul and, Machine Gun Kelly.
Hmm.
So, yeah, definitely a good, upgrade,
Hmm.
and now we get to the nitty-gritty, what you all
Yes.
have been waiting for,
Hmm.
the review to AEW Revolution 2023. Now, the build up to this card wasn't the best.
Correct.
However, I think that this could be the rare instance where you can forgive it because of the quality of the matches.
One hundred
And
percent.
like the matches were great. And this is what I said too in our what's wrong with AEW video is that my
Hmm.
theory was in Tony Khan's eyes, the matches make the stories, and
Right.
I kinda saw it last night,
Yeah.
that the matches definitely made the stories, especially in the women's one, which we'll get to later.
Hmm.
Um, so ooh, forgot what started the show. I think it was Ricky and Jericho.
It was Ricky and Jericho that started off the show. I'm gonna let you go first because I have I it's all good news for me. This was a 5 out of 5. This was
A 5 out of
over
5?
5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, whatever you want to rate it, whatever your system is. I go 5 out of 5. To me, this was a very underdog pay per view in its entirety. I expected this to be kind of a wash in many ways, more or less. I thought that these matches weren't going to impress me or keep me entertained, keep me at
Yeah.
the edge of my seat. I mean, you can hear it in my voice. I'm losing it as we speak. So,
You were
I'm
doing the
definitely,
watch along
I
on
was
the
doing the
Pro
watch
Wrestlenews
along.
channels.
And
Yeah.
yeah, man, we had a ball. I mean, we had a ball. It was absolutely from start to finish, from the pre-show on, was just
Oh, yeah.
unstoppable. But yeah, no, let's start off the show with Ricky Starks and Chris Jericho. Um, Ricky needed that win. I said it to you
He
before,
did.
man. He needed that win, and I the only one I got wrong out of all these cards was the Ruby Soho match. That's it. It's the only one that I fucked up
Well, I
on,
knew
and
Ruby wasn't going to win, so we'll
I
go over the
really
matches
thought,
one by one.
yes, no,
We'll go by the
Ricky
matches one by
Starks,
one, but
the
Ricky
Ricky
yeah.
Starks was amazing. I mean, he absolutely put on a banger of a show, a performance between both of them. I mean, even Jericho at his age, still doing the moonsaults and lion salts at his
Yeah.
age, at his stamina, at his time in wrestling in general. I was impressed. I was really impressed. Like Jericho has those nights where you could see it, you could see his body's not the same anymore in certain matches. You could see
Yeah.
he's not, at that same level as a lot of these younger guys or middle-aged guys that are almost at his age in and everything, or even just age in the actual business itself of wrestling. So, I was just impressed, man. Ricky Starks really threw a hell of a banger, absolute to the max. He was truly, truly a great, great starting match. I actually thought it was going to be Christian Cage's match, but I'm happier that it was Ricky Starks instead.
Yeah, Ricky, Ricky, needed that win definitely. Like, he's on fire ever since the, he won the Dynamite, Battle Royal, and he's
Correct.
just been up as, like, that main event level, for a while. He
Hmm.
wouldn't be on my list to next challenge MJF. I think Ricky
Okay.
Starks, like I said before, needs the mid-card championship before he gets to that level because, again,
Right.
MJF will get that lengthy reign, I do
Right.
believe now. So have Ricky Starks challenge Orange Cassidy for the All Atlantic Championship. I think that All Atlantic Championship needs that prestige because I don't know. I'm not feeling the All Atlantic prestige now. Um, Ricky could be the guy to do it. But yeah, it's shocking that this match went 13 minutes. I think
Yeah.
it should have went more. But
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
So next we had Jungle Boy versus Christian Cage in a final burial match.
Thank you, Jack Perry, for finally hitting that concerto we all wanted to see come out of Jack Perry onto Christian Cage. There was a lot of rumors and whatnot with this one in particular, at least that I was reading, that,
Yeah.
Christian was possibly going back to WWE with Edge's possibility of a retirement match or match retirement coming soon in August since they're
Mhm.
going back to Toronto, that maybe he will be going back to do the farewell tour for Edge and everything since they've been buddy buddy for many many years. So, my buddies and I, when we were on the watch along, we were like, Vince McMahon's probably in the back. Blowing both of his quads because he doesn't want Christian Cage injured before WrestleMania, in case that's when he was going to make his debut, possibly back.
Yeah,
But
because that
no,
big
man.
ass drop, like
Oh
the
my
big ass
God.
drop from the coffin. I was scared.
Yeah.
I jumped. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. No, you know what's funny is I thought Luchasaurus was going to be in the coffin. Me,
Yeah.
Evan, and Sam were like, he's in the coffin. And then they opened it up and it was chairs. And I was like, okay. And then Evan pointed out, he was like, oh, but I think there's a loose bottom. So there's a possibility that Luchasaurus can now come back in when we reclose it. And I was like, okay. And
I
then,
thought that Luchasaurus was gonna come at the end when Jungle Boy was taking fucking forever to close the lid, and he was just
right.
standing there. I was like, "Oh, it's Luchasaurus. He's gonna come in and attack Jungle Boy," but no. I think the commentators said that it was a moment of respect,
Yes.
for Jungle Boy and Christian, which was, again, why I figured maybe this does mean that Christian's probably going. I don't
Hmm.
know, because there's not really much for Christian Cage to really do. Whether he goes
No.
back to WWE, I doubt it. I really
Yeah,
doubt it, but
right.
hope at least that signified the end of the fucking rivalry. It's been too long.
It has been. No, but both men put on one hell of a performance. Jack Perry coming out in his jeans to the Jungle Boy theme song and everything
Oh, yeah.
was just great. I mean, we were singing along through every song we could possibly sing along through while we were doing that watch along last night. And, honestly, it was just another 5 out of 5. Ricky Starks match, 5 out of 5. Christian Cage's match, Jungle Boy's match, 5 out of 5. So
Yeah.
there wasn't really one that really hurt the card in any way, shape, or form.
Well, the
Out of all
TNT
these matches.
Championship match, I could beg to differ, but
Okay, okay.
before we get to that before we
Hmm.
get to that, here's another 5 out of 5, The House of Black
Mm.
versus The Elite. This was a fucking banger.
No, and everybody that I talked to didn't have my pick. I said House of Black. I said House of Black.
Oh,
I
yeah.
called it.
I
I
thought it
said
was
it to
Elite.
you. Yep, I said it to you. I said it to Sam. I said it to Evan. I said, listen, House of Black need this. They're not doing much with the Elite. If Kenny's going to be leaving, those all play into effect into that type of title reign, and especially with the fact, kind of like with Damage Control, they weren't really doing much with the titles itself. They were just kind of keeping them, defending them, retaining them against 5 out of 5 athletes too. We had Top Flight against them with AR Fox. We had
Yep.
how's I can't think of the other names now. I'm losing my train of thought
Oh,
here. Um,
the
but
the Firm?
the Firm, they also had the Death Triangle, 7 matches with Pac. So they just kept retaining. We kind of saw this happening over and over and over again. I was expecting them in some assets to retain because Tony Khan with his booking and his decision making
Oh,
throughout his
yeah.
regular TV shows. It seemed like it was going that way, and nope. And God bless Julia Hart. She took that V trigger to the dome
Like a
very
champ.
cleanly. Yeah, and very clean, very, very champ like. Britt Baker came out a little late. She probably was refixing her teeth in the back there. But a few definitely came out for sure. But no, man, Kenny did amazing. Young Bucks were great. But the one of them of the House of Black, not Buddy Matthews, Brody King, looked like one of the creatures from Ragnarok, God of War Ragnarok. I
Oh
couldn't keep
yeah.
my eyes off of him. I was like, my God, his makeup to his body stance to everything was just, I mean, it was impeccable. But yeah, I'm so happy the House of Black won. I'm so excited to see what and who is their next defense titles. I'm going to call it here now. It's going to be Death Triangle and Pac.
Mm.
It's going to be Death Triangle and Pac. It could be Top Flight and AR Fox again, but I know right now AR is in ROH and everything. Recently he was at least. You know, I definitely can see Death Triangle going back for that gold and everything, and kind of having another great couple of matches with House of Black. But the
Yeah.
house always wins. So, and we saw
Oh
it.
yeah.
We saw it last night.
I I definitely did not see House of Black winning this.
Yeah.
I thought that the booking for the House of Black was done. I thought that they fucked up this big stable, and they didn't. And they had a strong showing. This match was great. A bunch of high spots, a bunch of amazingness, and there was the exchange between Kenny Omega and Malachi Black during this
Hmm.
was great as well. I want to see them two one on one.
I want to see a singles match too.
Oh,
Yep.
it was so great.
Yeah.
But I was genuinely shocked that the House of Black won that,
I was screaming.
because it was like, they wouldn't have the Elite have a short ass reign. They surely wouldn't. No, impossible. But I was wrong,
Yeah.
and I'm glad all three are talented. Malachi, Brody, and Buddy,
Yeah.
and
Whew.
I hope their reign is good. I hope they're not just demoted to Rampage. I hope that they get a good time on Dynamite.
Not for nothing. I kind of want them to go to Rampage with these belts. I do. I do because I feel that if they went to Rampage as the House of Black, as the Trios Tag Team champions, they could really spruce up Rampage's 1 hour show and
Mm,
have either regular defense titles if they really want to go that far. Otherwise, they can just have great matches overall on a consistent basis that I think would be, would bring Rampage up to those quote unquote 4 million viewers each and every week that we're getting. So, I think that if House of Black wanted to go and make a real big statement after their big statement win on Sunday, I think Rampage would probably be your best choice for them to do. There's not much happening over at Rampage
yeah,
at the moment. The biggest story kind of over there right now is Keith Lee, Dustin Rhodes with Swerve and the Mogul affiliates. So, this would kind of give an extra reason why you would want to watch on a Friday, for
true,
sure.
true. Yeah. If they could bring it to Rampage, if Rampage can be even better and not fucking jobbers wrestling top names, I'm cool
Hmm.
with it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's a story for another day.
Hmm.
Next, we got Jamie Hayter beating Soraya and Ruby Soho.
Yep.
Uh, Now the story's mainly in the finish,
Yes.
well, after the finish, and I was confused by this. Ruby throws Soraya and Tony over the top rope, and it's
Throw
look
you
like,
off
"Hey,
guard.
I'm gonna celebrate with the, AEW originals. I'm with you guys now." And, she attacks the both of them and spray paints the green. I wanted it to be Ruby associates with fucking no one. I
Mm.
wanted that to be the story.
Hmm. Are you upset with the fact that it's now the WWE versus the AEW originals?
Kind of, yes.
Okay.
I think it's just, like, obsessed Tony being like, "Haha, look at what I got. I got these
Right.
WWE people." Like, fuck off, man. I don't care about it, and the fact that you got not just Tony Storm inserted in this Soraya bullshit, but you got Ruby in there too. It's like you're having all your top talents involved in the shitty storyline now. All your top women,
Where
almost all of them.
almost we're
You
missing
got
Thunder
Thunder.
Rosa.
We're missing Thunder Rosa, but she's injured or something right now. And Chris Statlander, I don't fucking know where she's at. But
Yeah.
so it's like pretty much everyone involved in this array of shit. It's like I don't care about. And Ruby Soho, this was her time to elevate on her own and get up there. And now she's going to be demoted to nothing more than Paige's lackey. Fuck that.
Well, what I see out of this, and I do agree with you though to an extent. I do. WWE versus AEW originals. It is a little bit of a weak story build for sure. It is Tony going, look what kind of pretty fancy toys I got from WWE, and everything. 100%. But with Thunder Rosa coming back, when we don't know. But she has made apologies to the women in the locker room. She has made amends from a lot of the women that she's wronged in the back, and a lot of them are excited for her to come back. I think that we're going to see possibly at Double or Nothing a women's six woman tag match: Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter versus Soraya, Tony Storm, and Ruby Soho. I feel like the story is going to kind of kick up in the next few weeks, leading into May, more or less. We're going to get a lot more story build in more middle of April, leading more into
Yeah.
May, not really March, and everything. This is going to be our calm down period after a great pay per view and everything. But I definitely can see that being Tony's outlook in the long run or the long term booking, if that's what he's trying to do. I mean, it makes the most sense because, I mean, you have 3 against 2 at the moment. Who are you going to bring in? The only other person per se would be Chris Stratlander if she comes back or whatever the situation with her kind of clears up,
Yeah.
and have that be the third amigo in for Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter and everything. But I think Ruby and Thunder Rosa have such great chemistry in the ring that that's what they've been trying to build for us here, and I think that's what's going to be coming for us come Double or Nothing, going forward,
Makes sense. Yeah, that
right?
kind of makes sense. But I mean, again, it's just the fact that it's like it's all your top talents involved in this.
Exactly.
And it's like
Yep, I know.
it's just not my cup of tea. But I loved
Yeah.
the match itself. It was
Yeah,
just
no,
that
very good
little.
match.
It was just that little 2 minutes of nothing that really turned me off, and it's not like it really ruined the match anyway. It was just
Right.
meh. So
Right.
here's a match that was great from fucking start to finish. Hangman Adam Page, John Moxley, Texas
This
Death
was a
Match.
bloodbath. I mean, Mick Foley was erect the whole entire time. He probably was watching this going, "Holy shit, I wish I can get back in the ring right now to do this type of match with the two of them." I mean,
Oh yeah.
Hangman put on one hell of a show, but Moxley, I mean, I swore he was bleeding before the match. I was gonna bet on DraftKings if that was an option to see if he was gonna bleed before the match, and him and Hangman had amazing spots. Both spots were, with the little plywood with the barbed wire, scraping
The
themselves with the barbed
bricks.
wire, the bricks, the stomp from Moxley, a little "Hello, how are you?" Seth
Hello,
Rollins,
Seth.
and then the cheers, the singing of Seth Rollins' theme song was happening in the crowd. I don't know if you caught that, but
No, I
after
didn't,
that,
but I heard that on Twitter. It was like people were singing Seth
yeah.
Rollins theme after the stomp. I was like, no.
Yep, yep. So I'm waiting to see what Seth does tonight because maybe he might mention something about Moxley tonight.
Maybe
So,
you'll get a Death Rider on Logan Paul.
hey man, I'm excited for it. If that happens, let's go. But no, like going back, I was shocked by both men.
Oh yeah,
Hangman put his body on the line. He wrapped himself up with barbed wire, came off the top rope, and I mean
that
that
was
hurt him
sick.
more than yeah, that hurt him more than it probably hurt John himself. So I definitely am. I was impressed. I mean, it was a bloodbath though. There was no way around it. It was
M-
just it was
Like
brutal.
what about Mox stabbing Hangman with a fucking fork?
Yeah, that was insane.
Oh, that
The
was
brick
fucking
spot
terrible.
was insane. The choking of the chain to get him
To
to
get the
tap.
finish.
Yeah, which was the only tap of the first tap of the night besides the MJF and Danielson match
Yeah,
later
who
on.
like, I've never seen Mox really tap out in my life,
Me neither.
and
Me
that
neither.
was shocking. The fact that we
Yeah,
got that brutal of a finish to make him tap, fucking great from
yeah,
start to finish. This got 24 minutes,
yeah.
but I remembered it being like 10. That was what it felt like. It felt like fucking 10 minutes,
Oh, it felt
and
24 minutes. Oh no, it felt 24 minutes. I mean,
really? It felt
it
way
felt
short
it.
it felt
No,
way shorter for
it
me.
felt long. It felt long. It was
I don't
just
know, man.
grueling. It was grueling. It was brutal. It was spot after spot after spot after spot. It was just. I mean,
Yeah.
Moxley didn't even get to do his full entrance. Hangman just ran out there and started beating the shit out of him right there and then. So
Gotta love the action packed.
yeah, man, and the biggest thing was I'm shocked JR wasn't around commentating this match, which was the most interesting part of it. He was only there
For
for
the
a
first
few,
2 matches.
yeah, and then he was gone the rest of the evening. I was shocked. I hope everything's okay with Mr. Barbecue Sauce himself, JR. But it was definitely something I noticed. Evan and Sam and I noticed very quickly
Yeah.
and everything. But no, going back to the match, man, I don't know if I would be able to do all those spots. I could do a couple of them for sure. Definitely not the fork. Definitely not the brick. I'll take the plywood to the back. I might do the chain choking, a little bit, but I don't know about a lot of the other ones that for sure.
Oh,
You're gonna have
yeah,
to pay me
that
a pretty
was
dollar for that one
mhm. Yeah, you'd have to pay me, like, your life savings if you want
yeah,
me to do spots like that.
for sure.
But yeah, that was great. Then we follow off that grueling match with, Wardlow and Samoa Joe.
Yeah,
Hooray.
honestly, I thought it was gonna be a sleeper. I mean, he put Joe to sleep, so he definitely
Well, he
heard us
did.
all talking about it.
With his own
But
coquina clutch, by the way.
yes, and not for nothing. I'm happy Wardlow got this win. It puts Samoa Joe back in ROH where he's going to really take over and really show his, of course, true potential of who Samoa Joe is as a wrestler and everything.
Yep.
So I'm very happy to see that that's where I'm going to be going with that story for him. But my big question, I think everyone's big question is he really going to lose it now Wednesday to Powerhouse Hobbs, or is this a story that's just starting? Because if you watch the media scrum after everything, when Wardlow shows up, sits down, Powerhouse kind of interrupts him and starts talking shit, grabs his title, lets him know that that's going to be mine come Wednesday, leaves his donut, the little gold donut thing, the ring,
Yeah.
on the table, and Wardlow pointed out, he goes, last year I won this ladder match competition for this thing, and now this year I am TNT champion. So I don't want it to be a short reign like this unless we are getting this is how the actual feud starts, where Wardlow now loses it, and Powerhouse Hobbs is now going to go on a little bit of a tear for the next month or two as TNT champion, injuring Wardlow, quote unquote, per se, maybe even getting under Wardlow's skin, kind of like how Samoa Joe is doing, seeing if he can also play these mind games and stuff. But
But yeah.
otherwise, I think that where it would be really dumb for Tony to be like, okay, by the way, you're losing Wednesday.
Yeah,
Like
that would
that's
make
just
it
it's just like why did
unnecessary.
he yeah, he the shortest reign I've ever seen besides Jeff Hardy's 24-hour reign as champion. Like,
Zack
like we
Ryder's 24-hour reign as Intercontinental Champion at
yeah,
WrestleMania. That'd be
yeah,
like that.
like I'm no. Please don't. Please don't. Let Wardlow have this win. Let Wardlow, who just came back, who just put on a really good match with Samoa Joe and everything, now have a nice title run. If the goal is to give it to Powerhouse Hobbs in May, fine. But let's build a good story that we all could kind of agree with that if Powerhouse Hobbs is the TNT champion later on, that's okay. It actually
Yep.
fits in the story perfectly and everything. And yeah, so
Yeah, I can definitely, agree. with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this match wasn't for me. I think it was just lack of build as well, and then of course following the Texas Death Match, I think it'd be a decent opener, or maybe if we had it before the Texas Death Match, I guess I wouldn't mind. But I think
Right.
this was just way too late in the card to put in.
Right.
And the crowd was silent too. Like I felt bad for Wardlow.
Yeah.
Wardlow's
Yeah.
championship win was in a dead crowd because everyone was just
Yeah.
too tired off of the death match. That's what I think.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
No, I agree
Here's
with
the
that. I too
Yeah.
was kind of beat from that death match. I mean, it was long. It was a long match. It was a long, grueling, bloody, crazy spot match. So like, I'm not that shocked that everybody was almost kind of taking a sleeper while he was putting Joe in a sleeper at the same time. I'm not too shocked.
Yeah. Next, the co-main event of the evening, the Guns beating the Acclaimed, Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett,
Yes,
and
sir.
Orange Cassidy and Danhausen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I knew it. I knew it.
I
I ain't gonna lie
did
to you.
not know that. I didn't think that.
It made sense. Like I was saying before, if FTR was going to come back, which we now know that he did, spoilers, in case no one has
Oh
watched
no.
AEW Revolution by this time now, or haven't been on Twitter or any social media. Um, they've been mocking FTR. They've been mocking the Acclaimed. They've been mocking Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. They've been mocking the tag team division in itself, the Guns. And this has been their perfect way to keep their heel work going. Them
Yep.
being able to go, I now have beaten Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. I have now beaten the Acclaimed twice. I have now beaten Old Man Wrinkle and Jeff and Jay Lethal. I have now beaten FTR once. Who can stop us? Who really is going to stop us? And Dax and Chase
Cash.
are gonna, yeah, Cash are gonna come out there and whoop their ass. That's as plain as day. We know that they're coming back for their belts. But I like to see what or who else, I should say, might be involved in this rivalry going forward. There's speculations or at least rumors that maybe I'm making up at the moment, but the Acclaim go to ROH and kind of sit
Mm,
there for a little bit. I know it's not a
I
it's
don't
not a great
know.
position either.
Not great for
Um,
the tag division. I think they need the
no,
Acclaimed.
I think so too. The other thing is they are somehow intertwined with all of this going for double or nothing in May, which I would be okay with. Everybody loves the Acclaimed, clearly, and I do as well. But I think, and again, it could all change throughout all these stories, or whatever you want to call these stories, Tony Khan. But
Yeah.
the Guns could retain again. The Guns could retain and beat
You think the
FTR for
Guns are gonna
twice.
beat FTR?
Again, it's possible.
I don't think so, man.
It's possible. It's
I want
possible.
FTR to become two-time tag team champions. I think that especially, Dax Harwood after all the fucking media tours he's fucking doing, I
Right.
think he was probably like, "Hey, man, I'll come back to your shitty fucking company. First order of business, make us tag champs again,
Right.
or Ring of Honor tag champs again," since they're kinda vacant at this point, unfortunately.
Yeah, they really are.
They're pretty much vacant, even though, Mark Briscoe runs around with them, but then, not holding that against him, but,
Nope.
it's
Nope.
we need new tag champs. You have to
Yes, we do.
FTR do that, but yeah. But yeah, that was a shock, and Dax, bleeding
Yeah.
without
What the hell
wrestling.
was that? I don't
I
even
thought
know how the
John
hell it
he went
happened.
to the John Moxley school of bleeding before touching anybody. Well, he
Oh,
did touch
mighty
somebody,
man.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
Unbelievable.
Then we go into 60-minute Iron Man match,
Oh my God.
the main event of the show.
The King of
MJF
Long
beating
Island.
Bryan Danielson.
The
Yeah.
King of Long Island. Everybody chant his name out now. I want everybody right now to scream it loud. The King of Long Island. It's so great to be a Long Islander myself. I'm so happy that we have a champion to represent Long Island in any capacity. Nah, man. My biggest thing with MJF was, did he have the stamina? He's not facing
Yeah.
Hangman Page. He's not facing Kenny Omega. He's facing Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson, whatever you want to call him. He's facing a man that is very tactical. He's a submission technical person. He's a long-winded. He can go long matches. He can do
Yeah.
long things. He can put his body on the line. He is willing to go the extra mile to make a match a five-star match. Concussions, CTE, brain damage, and all. He is willing to go above and beyond to get the crowd so invested in him and as a character, as in a person, that that's something that MJF, it's not that he lacks, but I don't think he's well versed in. Now, mind you, I didn't know this until they announced it, but that was now the longest match after a certain point of that 60-minute match that MJF has ever wrestled in AEW
Mm.
history. So, not for nothing, now with that on his little pendant
Resume.
towel, yeah, on his resume. Thank you. Um, you know, who else could really come and give him something like that? You know,
Adam
I don't.
Cole,
I
baby.
Adam Cole would be a good choice. Also say Ricky Starks,
Ricky Starks could
maybe.
still work. Um,
Jungle Boy would also be another good
oh
one.
yeah, that'd be great. You could also do fuck, I had someone in mind. You could do Hangman. Hangman after that huge win, give him
Or
that
we're
match
getting
again.
Punk back. Or we're getting Punk back at Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
If I hypothetically speaking,
I don't
let's
know
say
about that.
MJF, has another title defense against any of them, and he retains. I think Punk's going to show up at Double or Nothing, and we'll finally get the match we've been waiting for, which would be a perfect way for MJF to drop the title, especially if he's leaving to go to WWE. We're at
Yeah.
May, going into All Out. He could drop it either at All Out, and after that is what, Forbidden Door, somewhere around all of that,
No,
and
Double or Nothing is next,
right,
and
and
then
then
we
after
get to
that is
Forbidden Door.
Forbidden Door. Okay, so
Yeah.
then at All Out, or maybe Forbidden Door, he loses the belt to CM Punk. CM Punk then has the matches we were really looking forward to, which would be Adam Cole, Hangman, um, Ricky Starks,
Yeah.
Jungle Boy. It would have enough time for all these guys to kind of get ready for Punk, be kind of ready to see what we're going to be getting out of Punk as this 14th time run and that he's giving us. You know, say what you want about the guy. He is very talented. I prefer him not to be in the squared circle, to be very frank. I don't care if he apologizes to God himself. I just think that him as a wrestler and being a big baby is really what defeats his whole character. I think his gimmicks are great. I think what he lives and stands and dies by is great and all, but you can't be the best in the world when you're the biggest bitch in the company.
Yeah, true.
You really can't. You can't be. MJF. You don't see MJF bitching and complaining about things, and he mentioned that in the media scrum after the show. He called
Oh, he was
everybody
great
out.
in that. He called
Yeah,
everybody out.
he called
He
everyone out, and
he was great in the fucking match too.
yeah.
He threw the water at the kid, and then, he was
Oh
fucking
yeah.
yelling,
Oh,
"Is that gonna cost me a star, Dave?
Dave. Yeah. Oh
Your
man.
boy
And then he
Kenny
told.
Omega?"
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Then he comes in the media scrum and he's screaming at Dave, calls him a dipshit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, man. It was great. No, MJF's great, man. No, but honestly, Daniel Bryan though impressed the shit out of me. And he always does. Every time he's in the ring, he always is something to watch. You have to watch one of his matches for sure to see how great wrestling can really be at its top performance.
Oh, yeah.
But I really thought MJF was going to lose at one point. I did think that when they had the tie and he was tapping after he grabbed the rope. you
Yeah, it
know?
went overtime, yeah.
Fuck,
Hour and 5
like,
minutes.
yeah, man. So, nah, it was a great show. 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5 match for sure.
Oh, yeah. So, this was probably yeah, like I said on Twitter, and never mind, like, my light bulb went out, so I'm using my fucking phone flashlight for light.
I
Um,
gotcha.
I said, as much as I criticize AEW, like, we had a whole fucking stream about it,
Mhm.
you know, Revolution opened my eyes on not the product, but just how good their talent is,
Correct.
and and how good matches can make shows better even though there is no build. However, I still think there's a lot that AEW needs to improve on, such
Yeah,
as missing talents and such as, building feuds. Um, but that's not taking anything away from the show.
right.
There was really no weak points
No.
in the show. All of my problems were really the TNT Championship match and Ruby Soho joining Saraya and Tony Storm. Aside from that, show was a fucking banger.
Yeah.
Um, I was very impressed by matches like the Elite versus House of Black. I was shocked at multiple points, like MJF winning and the House of Black winning,
Mhm.
and the Guns retaining. So I think it was a very, very great show. I'll give it 4.25 out of 5. That
Okay.
that's that's my final rating. Um, like I said, a couple weak points, but it never failed to disappoint.
Right.
So what is
Yeah,
your rating?
5 out of 5. This was
5 out
the
of 5 all across the
this
board.
all across the board. I'm gonna ramble here for a quick second, and I'm sorry for that.
Go ahead.
But if you're gonna compare it, we've had we've had a few pay-per-views going into Revolution prior. We've had Battle of the Valley, we've had Elimination Chamber, we've had Royal Rumble, and I know I'm missing one other one.
We had NXT Vengeance Day.
Vengeance Day. Um, Vengeance Day was good. Vengeance Day was very good. That was a 4 out of 5 show. Royal Rumble, in my opinion, was a 2 out of 5.
Yeah,
And
I
as
think that was a great
a
show.
yeah, I know. I'm probably the only one in this whole entire world that thought that that first show of the year was a 2 out of 5 for sure. But my thing is that when it comes to booking pay-per-views itself, the big difference between WWE and AEW clearly is the story build, which is what Tony Khan lacks the most of. Though the matches itself are telling the stories, which is great in essence, but at the same time, you can't always rely on that in itself, whether it's due to injuries, whether it's due to just bad matchmaking, whether it's due to
Yep.
bad booking, whether it's whatever it may be. Now, if everything went right and everything was all sunshine and rainbows and stuff, then everything would work out great. We wouldn't be having this conversation about Tony Khan. But the biggest thing that I do have to give Tony Khan for is that whether or not he has writers or a great team around him to help him out. I'm sorry with the dog. She's crying
All
because
good.
I'm not ignoring her. What you call it? That she Tony Khan. Fuck. I lost my train of thought now. The difference with Tony Khan and Triple H is that Triple H is building the stories to the actual pay-per-views itself. So because of that, we already kind of know what and who is winning these pay-per-views ahead of time prior to what we're really seeing with Tony Khan and his booking and his actual matchmaking and the final product itself when it's all said. So when it comes to that itself, I think Papa H needs to see that there's both sides to both stories where there can be great storytelling, but the matches itself also need to tell that story itself. And with Elimination Chamber, he did 100%. Triple H's best pay per view so far right now, that was truly Triple H's besides Royal Rumble, has been Elimination Chamber, in my opinion. This
Yep.
is just my opinion. I know that maybe people are not going to like my opinion, but that's okay. I think that, he had a little bit more freedom to do a lot more with the actual product itself and be able to push a little bit more boundaries. We saw it with the men's elimination chamber, the women's elimination chamber. Yeah, we knew what we were going to get, but there was still athletes in there and spots and moments that we were like, holy shit. I mean, Montez's Spider-Man moment that we saw
Yeah.
him taking the stomp. We saw Asuka and Carmella, who I don't even like, impressing me and being like, oh, okay, you can actually wrestle and you can hold yourself in a pay-per-view type of moment where big things do matter. So Brock and Bobby, that's where he slips up, but that's also like the Samoa Joe and Wardlow. It's almost like a mirror effect between the two of them. They're almost mirroring off each other with just some lack of compliance with storytelling for Tony's opinion, Tony's booking and stuff. But Tony, in my opinion, if he continues this path of great pay-per-views that are great with matchmaking, storytelling, and start doing some storytelling throughout these shows, I think Tony Khan could be the best booker of 2023. I
Hmm.
do. I really do. I think that Tony has the talent over anyone else right now that is top tier. Like you said, this opened your eyes to how great AEW's talent is and how
Yeah,
far they have come from after Cody's leaving.
they really have,
Now,
yeah.
besides that media scrum, they were pretty much doing the same thing they did now last year too. But unfortunately, with the whole media scrum, CM Punk, Kenny Omega incident, it hurt the product itself in its entirety. And we really weren't looking at it with the same open eyes as many others were and trying to avoid what had happened. So, now fresh year, brand new start. What is Tony Khan giving us? It's kind of the same rigmarole bullshit. No storytelling with the MJF and Ricky Starks at Winter is Coming, but it was a good match overall. Then we get, going into the new year, we got Bryan Danielson wanting revenge from MJF putting William Regal into an ambulance, which is really just him leaving, going to WWE because his son is there and everything in NXT. Great storytelling to an essence, but again, wasn't great enough to keep me hooked and everything like that. But finally pushing talent that needed the big push, like Ricky Starks, like Jungle Boy, like House of Black, like the Guns, like I hate to say it, I really do. A little bit of Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, but more or less Top Flight and AR Fox. They had amazing matches, even though they weren't champions at any moment. They fought for championship battle opportunities and stuff, but all in all, they didn't. They came very very close. But the biggest thing I think also with Tony's problem is he has so many fucking belts that he tries to
Oh,
put
yeah,
on
facts.
every single Dynamite. And what's really funny is me and Sam were talking about this on Fortnite the other day. Was that with Jade Cargill? I'll end it here soon. I'm sorry, but with
All
Jade
good.
Cargill and everything, she's like the Goldberg right now of AEW, getting her 50 something win
That's what I
and
said last night or yesterday,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. And we're getting this like consistency, just like with Roman and everything, where she's not going to lose the belt and everything, because why would you want her to lose? Why? What does the actual TBS championship mean though? It doesn't mean anything. I thought more or
It's
less
just a
that
women's mid-card championship that,
exactly.
no one's
And
gonna hold for a while.
exactly. And not for nothing, Tony has two other shows, Mondays and Tuesdays, with Evolution, Elevation, Dark.
Elevation. Yeah.
Yeah, and Dark. And not for nothing, I think that the TBS belt should go to that time. And I
Yeah,
think that the
especially if
TBS
it's not
belt,
gonna be featured on pay-per-view. That you should
exactly.
just put it on
And
Dark and Dark Elevation. Same with All Atlantic.
exactly. Yeah, well, the All Atlantic, I think that could definitely go to an Elevation in Dark, and that belt could be more or less something that you can travel to other companies to display the product itself and be able to really brand and branch out of AEW, going to New Japan like Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin did. Darby Allin
Mhm.
had that great match with Big Muta before Muta's last match with Sting and everybody else in New Japan, and Darby Allin was wearing the TNT belt. That was a great look for
Darby Allin
AEW.
defended
Oh, I think I
every week
lost you.
before dropping it to Joe.
exactly, and yeah, on top of that as well, and,
Oh, I said
if we
yeah, he defended every week.
and, if we dropped some of these belts, the ones that really don't matter too much, like the TNT or the All Atlantic or the TBS, and we gave them to the up and coming stars of Dark and Elevation, I think that would bring those shows to a bigger stage. And a lot of these women and men can have that opportunity to cash this belt. I don't know if you remember in TNA where I forgot the wrestler's name, but he used his belt to cash in his opportunity to
Austin
get the
Aries. I
yeah.
met that
And
motherfucker.
oh man, that's really cool. I want to hear all about that actually. Um,
Pretty soon, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm excited for that. He gave his belt up and he cashed it in for a better opportunity. And I think that we can do that with the TBS belt and with the TNT belt on Dark and Elevation. Giving these up and coming stars a chance to go to a Dynamite or even to a Rampage by having them win and defend the TBS belt for the women's division or the TNT belt in the men's division consistently every week, et cetera, kind of have mini runs of the Jade Cargills that we were having and everything prior, but then eventually going, listen, I beat everybody. And Jade has. Jade's beat everybody. She hasn't really beat like, Jamie. Yeah, a
Fucking,
couple
yeah,
of the new
Jamie
women or
Hitter.
whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly. But she's beaten majority of the women that were coming to Dynamite to try to get themselves to be seen by a bigger audience. And I
The
think that if
developmental
we
talent, yeah.
Exactly, kinda like how we have it with NXT, and, if we gave that opportunity to these people to grow and be able to have a better opportunity to have a main roster slot every week on a Dynamite or more or less on a Rampage because Dynamite seems to be very oversaturated with so much talent. That gives them a more of a want to try to go for these belts and make these belts have a more prestigious outcome, more or less, than just having
Yep.
them on and keep hot potatoing them on each and every one every few weeks to few months. I mean, literally, we had Darby Allen, and then a couple weeks later, it was Samoa Joe. Now we have Wardlow, and it's
Wardlow.
possibility that Wednesday we're gonna have
Powerhouse.
Hobbs. Yeah, like what are we really doing here? Orange
Yeah.
Cassidy's been the All Atlantic champion. He's defended that belt, but he's also retained that belt with great matches. Now, if you were to lose that, who is he losing that to? We don't know, but it
Jungle
could be
Boy.
someone new, right? It could be Jungle Boy, it could be Ricky Starks, or it could be a new person from Darker Evolution that wants that spot, but that has been
Yeah.
showing week in and week out on every Monday and Tuesday that they are deserving of this spot and position on the main roster. And I think that Tony needs to realize that these belts could really make a big difference in someone's career besides just making it look like, oh, look, these are 7 belts on my TBS and TNT show. It's like that's great and all, buddy, but like, how are you really managing all of that? Plus all these people, plus all the booking, plus et cetera, et cetera. So I'm sorry for
Yeah.
the long rant, but I just thought
All
that
good.
maybe that would be an idea that something that he could possibly do in the near future. Will he? Probably not. But if
No.
he ever listens to this episode, Tony, listen, man, I'm telling you, buddy, this is it. This is the way to keep us entertained. Because I'm not watching Evolution, Elevation, and I'm not watching
Elevation.
Dark.
Me
But
neither. I'm not watching Rampage.
yeah, like I'm watching that at least, but like, I want to watch Elevation and I want to watch Dark, but if it's just going to be a couple of people that are new, that are decent, and then the next week they're going, or 2 days later, they're on Dynamite and get demolished by John Moxley or Hangman or something. It's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck was the point? Like, what? Why did you? Because he had what 2 good matches for 2 good weeks. No, come on, that's bullshit. Don't give me that. Don't give me no green people here. Give me real wrestlers that can perform every single week that can now build the story and go after an MJF or a Moxley or a Hangman or have a good run with Ricky Starks or Jungle Boy or anybody else that's been holding down AEW Dynamite or even Rampage. Bring them over to Rampage. There's not many great talent over there to begin with, or a roster that's not that growing, but it can and it could have a lot of great people over there.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree. But yeah, Tony Khan has a lot to improve on,
Yes.
definitely. Um, but at least he can walk away from this pay-per-view knowing that he has a
Oh,
dub,
big
his
win.
first dub in a long time,
Yep.
and, his talents, everyone, even the ones in the shitty ass matches,
Mhm.
came out looking strong,
Yep.
and we had some great moments and some great matches,
Yeah,
100%. So,
man.
yeah, 4.25 for me, 5 out of 5 for you.
Classic.
I
Absolute
think
need to
that's great.
watch.
I
Yeah.
think that's great. Yeah, if you haven't watched it, be sure to.
You have to.
Be sure to grab some popcorn for that fucking 1 hour, 5-minute match, though.
Oh, yeah, no,
Definitely.
that yeah,
Grab some
yeah.
fucking
You're gonna be on
popcorn.
the edge of your seat the whole entire time. I
But
mean, whew.
oh, yeah, and also, don't have your kids around for the fucking Texas death match.
Yeah, no, no, no. That's
Don't
that's
have your
that's not
kids.
for children. That's not for
But,
children.
yeah, that was fucking great. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna have to, cut this here. This was a great show, great everything. And yeah, so if you are new here, be sure to subscribe, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe to Dylan's channel, which is The Last Week in Wrestling, as well as on Spotify, Apple Music, and everything. And subscribe to Pro Wrestle News as well. Of course, Dylan
Yes.
did a watch along on that with his two buddies last night.
Mhm.
And yeah, so Dylan, thank you for joining me for this
Always,
review. And yeah,
always fun.
we'll do this tomorrow for Raw as well, which is
Okay.
going to be live in an hour. So we have
Yes,
an
I know.
hour to relax. So
Yes, I'm
it's
actually
pretty
doing a
sweet.
live. I'm doing a YouTube live for Raw. It'll be my first live on my YouTube channel tonight for
Oh, so
Raw.
on Last Week in Wrestling, be sure to
Yep.
follow him on Twitter and be sure to get notified because I think if you search up Last Week in Wrestling, it'll bring you to another fucking YouTube channel. But
Yeah, I think so
yeah,
too.
I think so because I think when I tried to search it, it went to someone else with like 1,000 subscribers or something. So
Man,
it is what
I
it is.
want that number, man. I don't know who those people are, but
I want
that'd
that
be
number
great.
too. You
Yeah,
gotta have to
right.
grind.
Me and you both here.
But yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, and thank you for watching. And until we meet again, this has been your boy Willie Does Wrestling with Dylan from the Last Week in Wrestling podcast. And I'll see you in the next one. Be good, people, and peace.